Hi, welcome to the video tutorial Introduction to iGasLog. In this tutorial we'll be looking at how to set up iGasLog once you've installed it from the App Store and how to enter your first case. So good simple stuff just to be getting going with in the first instance. So you've downloaded iGasLog and you can see that in the simulator we have the iGasLog icon installed just there. Obviously you'll have a few more icons installed, but we've got enough here to be getting on with. So before we go into iGasLog itself, we actually just need to set up a few settings. So if you go into your settings application, you will see that towards the bottom is an iGasLog section. So if you click into that, you can see that there are some settings that you can set relating to your iGasLog application. And they're just personal settings about yourself, and they're important later on when you start generating reports, because of course your name and your grade get put onto those reports. So we'll just fill those in. Obviously you'll enter your own details. I'm just going to enter some fictional ones. Okay, for this purpose of this are specialist registrar, working for a random hospital. Okay, so we've done all that and we filled those in, and that's really all we need to do. So we're going to come out of settings, and now we're ready to launch the iGasLog application itself. So all we need to do is just click on iGasLog, and we're ready to go. So a few things about what you can see here. This is the main screen. On the top left button we have a main menu button, and that brings up some areas of functionality that we'll be using in later tutorials. So we'll just get rid of that for the moment. On the top right is a plus button, and we'll use that in just a moment when we enter our first case. The main body of the page is where a summary of all your cases is displayed. Obviously we've only just installed the application, so naturally there aren't any cases there just yet. And then down towards the bottom we can see we've got a few comments down here. The first row here tells you how many records there are in your dataset, and then the second tells you the address of the web portal. So iGasLog comes with effectively an embedded web server in it, which allows you to transfer files to and from iGasLog for the purpose of importing and exporting data, and also getting reports from the application. More on that later. Really, for the rest of this tutorial, we're just looking at how to enter a case. So we've launched the application. To enter a case, all we do is we go up to the plus button and we click that. Now you actually have 4 pages of information that you can browse through. We have pages for general information, details of the anaesthetic, supervision, and operation. And you can navigate through the pages either by clicking on the buttons at the top, or by, like a book, just literally sliding the pages to and fro. Now you'll notice that some of the fields in this logbook are in red and some in black. So I'd just like to take a moment to explain why that's the case. The red fields indicate fields which are required for reporting purposes. So for example, one of the areas of the report tells you how many operations you've conducted during the daytime, during the evening, and overnight. And the only way it knows that is if you make sure that you fill in information for the start and end time. So these are deemed sort of mandatory fields, and they're only mandatory in terms of being able to derive statistics for reporting. And if you don't fill those in, then they'll just be marked as incomplete on the front page. So in fact we can see that if I go back to Browse Log, you can see that the record that I've just started is marked as incomplete, and that's because I haven't filled in all those red fields. So we'll just go back into that and we'll complete those. So the date is going to be today's date, so we'll leave that as it is. So that's absolutely fine. Reference number is whatever you want it to be. Typically, I guess people would use a patient number. So we'll just enter a fictional patient number in there. Click done. And location is where you conducted the procedure. Now, obviously this is empty at the moment because this is your logbook and you haven't entered any location. So we'll just put in a location in here. Let's say we're at the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital in London, for example. So I'm just going to plug that in there. and that sets that location to Chelsea and Westminster. But iGasLog will now remember that. So next time we go into location, we'll see that Chelsea and Westminster is always an option, and it will be forevermore. So you never have to type that in again. So we'll just get rid of that. We can specify the gender just by using these buttons here. So say female, and we can specify the age. Now we can either just use the slider wheels to specify the age. And if we click done, then we can see that that changes that there. Alternatively, we can use calculate from date of birth. So let's say, for example, someone was born on February 4th, 1987. Click done, and then it sorts out the age down there. Okay. Next one, there's the ASA score. Not a lot to say about this. That literally is just a list of possible ASA scores, and you just select the one you want, and that's all fine. And then a specification of priority. Priorities can be scheduled, urgent, emergency, or day case. So this one's going to be an urgent procedure. Okay, so we've done that. Start time of the anaesthetic was going to be, we'll say it's 10:30. Sorry, that didn't register. Okay. And the end time of the anaesthetic is going to be an hour later, so 11:30. Select a primary anaesthetic. And again, you can add new ones, and if you add a new one, it will keep it for the next time you specify it. But some fairly common ones have been put in there for the moment, and we'll specify a secondary anaesthetic to use. And again, with most of these things, you can add your own custom fields, and it will keep them for you to use later. And you can also specify a list of any procedures that have been conducted. And there's a list of possible procedures here, which we just put in to start off with. And again, you can put in your own, and you can select as many as you want. So we'll just select 4 right there, and when I click done, you can see that those are listed down here. And if you select more than 4, clearly it can't display those in this size window. It just puts some dots there to indicate you've got more than what can be displayed in that cell. You can also put in some clinical instance. Doesn't come with any pre-built, but you can add your own. Say, for example, cardiac arrest, for example. That's in there, and click done, and you can see that's there. Okay, so we go over to supervision. Supervision is literally just selecting between whether you directly supervise, indirectly, or whether you're solo. Solo, of course, being for consultants only. So in this case, for this fictional case, we were directly supervised. We didn't do any teaching, so we'll leave that as it is. And then the operation itself. So the way the operation works is you select a speciality. Let's say cardiothoracic, for example. And then when you click operation, it will display all the cardiothoracic operations that iGasLog has got in its database. Now, obviously, this is brand new. You've only just installed it, so it doesn't know about any of your operations yet. So we'll just add operation type. Let's say it was a heart transplant, for example. It would help if I could spell. Okay, and you can see that's there. And of course, it will keep that particular operation type for next time you enter cardiothoracic as a speciality. It will know it's there. Okay, so now we've entered a case, and if we wanted to, we could enter some notes there. I'm not going to in this example. And if we then go back to the browser log, you can see that that procedure that we just put in is now listed. So you've now entered your first procedure. And every time you want to add a new procedure, that's how you're going to do it. So thank you for watching this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to be looking at how to import data from your existing Royal College of Anaesthetists logbook, and also how to export data. Thank you for listening.